Chin up and keep going. That's the dream, baby. I wish this country had been built on respect and common sense, no religion at all. That was what they were supposed to do, right? Um, that's what our country was supposed to be built on, was separate religion and state. But what was weird is that we started incorporating all this God stuff into our money and into our everything, and so I'm not against religion, because it did provide a moral scaffolding for people, but I think that uh, like anything, you give it too much power and they push too far, right? Yeah, in the 50s, exactly, right to the gut. Who is running away from our sister country just to grow up and just be our sister country? No sister wives needed, necessary. But, you know, we're here now, and it seems like there's a lot of people who are so anti Christianity. It's really odd, and there's nothing against it. Honestly, I'm not against Christianity, but there has been a lot of pain that's come with it as it's been sort of instilled into our system. The funny part is that people ran from religion persecution only to persecute in the name of religion. But that's the thing we do, right? And if you look at certain movements, they tend to persecute their own as well. And I'm not trying to, there's like so for instance, we can actually skip to Sam Smith, because Sam Smith, he was recently shamed by his own community, right? It's like when people reject religion, and it seems like people need something like religion in their life all the time. And then I feel like sometimes the LGBTQ community can be that. And what was interesting is that Sam Smith was being shamed by his own community. And so the own community ends up turning on itself. And you look at like Christianity, it broke off into all these different things, like Methodists and Baptists, Catholics, all these different things. It feels like that, sometimes people, they it goes so far and it gains so much power that it starts to eat their own. And it does that with religion, does that with different communities you join. It does that. It just is what happens. I think it's part of human nature to just sort of glom onto an idea, and then anybody who sort of goes against that idea is no longer welcome. So Sam Smith gets shamed um, by fans. Yeah, there we go. So people are body shaming Sam Smith, and again, some of the shaming came from his own community, or I'm sorry, their own community. My bad. I didn't mean to misgender Sam Smith. Still getting used to them, they stuff. My bad. But they are, um, I applaud Sam Smith. I have nothing against Sam Smith. If Sam Smith wants to look fabulous and get plump, go do your thing. Go do your thing. And yeah, it's rude to say awful things about people, but it does show sort of the hypocrisy of any sort of collective or group of think that they're so inclusive until they're not, right? I think many people lead lives that are lacking, so they find anything they can do to beat down others and feel good. Basically, people need to walk their own path and stop worrying about others and their beliefs. And I'm so with that. I'm so with that, Firehorse. Don't get me started on Christianity. We're already there, bro. Honestly, where's Lizzo at when you need her? She should have jumped to the rescue. So, is she sexiest? You know what? Lizzo's pretty, but she's a little too large and in charge for me. But she's pretty in the face. Good for her. There's a community for that too. Bears and Cubs. Exactly. And I'm with that. I'm with the Bears, and I love that there's communities for everybody. The quote, Mandalorian, I have spoken. um, so here we got Sam Smith. Isn't so this is from Uprocks, and I'm gonna turn the camera so you guys can see on TikTok as well what we're reading here. So boom. Here we go. Yes, and we have oh yeah, and we have Pride Tacos in the chat, y'all. Pride Tacos in the chat. Love me some LGBTQ folks. Sam Smith receives hate from body shaming trolls over "I'm not here to make friends" video. Now I covered this on TikTok, but you know this will lead up to Sam Smith evoking the devil. Sam Smith isn't here to make friends. This is evident on the latest single from their fourth studio album, Gloria. And I'm sorry if I keep misgendering. If I keep saying him, I'm sorry. Again, I am trying my best. I am old and I'm getting used to these new ways. In the song's accompanying visual, which was released in tandem with the album last Friday, January 27th, Smith is seen at a party dressed in several spicy outfits, including black lingerie, skin tone undergarments, which leave little to the imagination. While the video was well received by fans, several trolls commented on the video with body shaming comments, as well as femme shaming comments, as Smith is seen embracing feminine aspects of their queer, non-binary identity. Grandpa Mike, I am such a grandpa. I'm about to turn 40, guys. Okay, I'm about to turn 40, so I'm an elder millennial. So please excuse me. I try to be very encompassing. Partay. No, this video is really good. I would play it, but I don't want to get DMCA'd for the most part. But there is he covers his nips, which I really love that Sam Smith is covering their nips. They are covering their nips. Damn it. Sam is covering their nips, and I think that's very funny. I don't know why, because they technically could show their nips, right? Like they could technically show their nips, I think. Am I wrong? Anyways, you're entitled to like or not like Sam Smith's music, said one fan Twitter, but what y'all don't do is fat shame Sam and stop calling them he, like it makes you look bad, not them. Which is, yeah, I see what they're saying. YouTuber Owen Jones also showed his support and cited a double standard that queer artists face when sharing their art. Sex has always been running theme in modern pop music, and music videos often flaunt it, he said, but Sam Smith has made the criminal offense of being a queer and not skinny, and in an increasingly anti-LGBTQ culture that can't be tolerated. Hold on, let me see. There was a whole thing that was going on too. Was this one? Yeah, here we go. So people are defending Sam Smith's video. Their new video led to body shaming from conservatives, other queer people, and more. The video is super fun. I honestly like the video. Like, here's some of the look. Here's Sam covering their nips. I love it. I love that they have that. Let me see. What are you guys saying? I'd get in trouble if I showed your neeps. Yeah, exactly. Sending black balloons to WSEG. So old. Nah, I am old. Gonna be 38 in 38 months. Gene, congratulations. You're one step closer to death. Free the nipple. Yes, and I agree. We should just have nipples for them days. Show nipples for she, he's, non-binary queer folk. Everybody should be able to show they nips. Yeah, I know Okay, Z, I know, but BuzzFeed is plugged into some of these kind of issues, so it's not bad. They donned a bunch of looks. Sadly, it led to a lot of body shaming comments, many of which were from the LGBT community. And this person said, "I'm absolutely disgusted," which is really kind of crazy. All you gotta do is identify as a man. I mean, technically, but here's the weird part about that. Could they do that on TV? Could a biologically born woman go on national television, claim and identify as a man, and we're not questioning whether or not they identify as a man, uh, and be able to show their nips. Is that something that they could do? That's a really interesting idea. Isn't Europe less hung up on seeing nips? I think so. After 9 p.m. on TV. Well, what if they went on TV like Good Morning America? Good Morning America, a biologically born woman with big old flappers, uh, big old milk bags. I'm sorry, just big old honkers, right? And they decide that they want to show their breastises. Do are they? Would they be a mommy jugs? Would they be allowed to say that I identify as a man and show those mommy milkers? Is that something that could be done? I doubt it. Not on Good Morning America. So there is this weird. Is it called an implicit bias? There is this weird hypocrisy, I guess, where it's acceptable in some places and it's not acceptable somewhere, but everybody claims that tolerance and acceptance is what it is. Yet there are these parameters, and I guess you could put that up to the you could call it hate in some kind of way, I suppose. But to me, it's a really it's very I can see why some people are confused, is what I'm saying. There are men out there with mommy jugs too. Honestly, it should just be an all or none. Exactly, Firehorse. That's what I'm saying too. I agree. Yeah, there's men out there with boobs. There's pregnant dudes out there, right? Pregnant dudes. I'm all for freeing the nip. I'm all for letting those honkers out. Let them out. We all want to. I don't want. We all want people to be free and express themselves the way that we go. Damn, that's a large boy. That course is not helping. Well, yeah, that's the problem, Samo, is that a lot of people were shaming him because he's little. Okay, there's boobs in the moment a man with fake boobs can't breastfeed and can't understand why it doesn't work. Um, with fake boobs can't. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's a thing, but maybe. I know that there are men who are getting period like symptoms. I'm sorry, no, women, trans women who are getting period like symptoms, but I know that there's a lot of it's hard for me to keep track of all these terms, but like biologically born and identifying women who are disagree with that sentiment. So there are some women who do not agree with that. I don't know if it's I've never heard of somebody being like, why can't I breastfeed? A trans man or a trans woman saying, why can't I breastfeed after, especially if they got the surgery or something. But I got man milkers and they're a little saggy. Anyways, going on. So we're talking about shaking my head so sad. It's already happening. We'll be in trouble if they can't figure out why. Well, I mean, I don't know if we'll be in trouble, but I'm sure that there are people out there who might be, not educated to it. I don't know. I can't speak for people. I can't speak for that community, honestly. I can only speak for the cis hetero guy that I am. But you got this tweet. Now, what's weird is that they covered up who this person tweeted. I don't know why they covered their name. Breast augmentation. Thank you. And then, of course, conservative pundits had their say in it. Sam Smith is a perfect example of what degenerate Hollywood culture does to people. It makes celebrities vulgar, hyper-sexualized, and obsessed with wearing their sexuality like a costume and shoving it in everyone's face. And to make matters worse, kids look up to this man. See, I'm not with that. I'm that person who I'm artist first. I'm artist first. I'm always gonna put art first. And even if it's satanic images or images that I don't necessarily agree with. I'm all about freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and freedom as artists to express themselves how they want to be, how they want to express themselves. And, that goes for, that's across the board for me. I'm always going to put art first. Mike's a sissy boy. Listen, what can I say? I'm out of here if you call yourself sis again. Shut up, listen, and that's the thing too. I don't want to be the old guy who doesn't, who is so far removed from culture that that I'm shunned out. I know I've said really ridiculous things over the time of this whole podcast, but I've also had a lot of, but I think that when we're able to talk, like we're able to talk right now, especially in Twitch and our Twitch feed here, this community, we've been able to have these really hard conversations without people being like, I'm mad or whatever. So it's learning for me, and I want to learn, and I want to be able to, I don't want to be offensive to people, but no matter what you say and what you do, you're always going to be offending somebody. So I'm not going to sit here and, feel shame that I misgendered Sam. I'm still getting used to it. I'll apologize. I understand that some people get hurt and that makes some people upset, but I'm just saying that I'm not trying to be that guy who's just like, out there saying the worst things because they can or will. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequence, but I am all about freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and art comes first. The problem is that not that they were wearing pasties. The problem is that with all the production costs on the video, they chose those ugly nip covers. You're right. There are so many better pasties than this. These pasties, Raina, you have better pasties than these. You have better pasties than those. Remember you had those do you still have the leaves, the weed leaves? Apologies are sold separately. My uncle T told me that he peed. He's a fool for that supposed to be mean. Oh, yes, it was a choice. Oh, I like your taco with sunglasses. Naders. Every single day, BuzzFeed publishes an article that can be boiled down to people are mean in the comment section. Who cares? This isn't news. It isn't relevant. Well, Z, I would say it is relevant because culture and art definitely go together, and that's, we're a music podcast, so I definitely think that culture and art is relevant to, and this is a relevant conversation. And I get what you mean, Z, and the thing about BuzzFeed is that they're just trying to get clicks, and they're just trying to whip people up, and they're appealing to people's emotions. And that is kind of bunk. That is bunk, Z. I do feel you. That's the only way they can get people to pay attention to their site, because otherwise it's mostly full of dumb stuff. They have done some really good articles on some stuff, but for the most part, yeah, BuzzFeed is like, ugh. I understand what you're saying, though. And when I said cisgender, I was being silly, Naders. People are always mean in the comment section. Weird people who make weird art make people mad. These discussions are so old. Okay. Anyways, Z is out here like, next. In any case, Sam Smith did get a lot of hate for what he was wearing, or they were wearing. I'm trying. But yeah, I don't think that Sam should have took all that heat, but people are going to be mad. And like Z said, people are going to always be mean in the comment section. If you don't want, there's a piece of advice that I think is a great piece of advice for anybody who makes content is stay out of the comments. Don't go in there. Stay the F out of the comments, because that's when things go downhill really, really quick. Maybe Sam and friends just have weird nipples and didn't want to be judged. Yeah, what if it's like all hairy and like there's three of them on there? Sam just has weird nips. That's all. Just throw the dictionary out the window. Yes, language is being changed very quickly, isn't it? I'm gonna just call everyone them. That might be the safe way to go. Except when you get around like your grandparents or whatever, they're gonna be like, "There's only it's just me." It's like you and your grandpa. And it's like, listen, hey, how are they doing? How are them? It's hard. It's hard. It's hard for old fogies like me, but we can do it. We can do it together. We can learn and we can grow. And so, staying on the idea of Sam Smith's Satanic Grammys performance slammed and is also sponsored by Pfizer. And of course, we got to do this. Wait a second. Did I not do it? I didn't do it.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Fuck
Oh,
you.
shoot.
Pay me.
I forgot. Just for the record, I'm not annoyed with you or your channel. I'm annoyed and bored with society and BuzzFeed. You keep doing your thing, man. Z, I didn't take it personal. I didn't take it personal. I never do. You can't take these kind of things personal because I share the same sentiment, Z. I really do. But I do think that it is a cultural discussion that, the comment section and people being offended and people actually changing their art in order to appease a small group of people or a large group of people. It's just people are self-editing and people are self-censoring and people want to censor more. And I'm just not with that. They lost and keep losing the talent. That explains so much. What did Nader say? Yeah, it does. Language is being just sort of ripped apart. Where are you reading Z's comments? I don't see them. Really? Z is in the the chat, in the Twitch chat. I am here, Reina Mystique. I'm the one with the hurt feelings. I have to cure. I have the cure size emotions. BuzzFeed. Yeah, well, the people who write these articles, you gotta remember, are the people who write these articles are, a lot of them are fresh out of college where they got an education where they were seeing. I haven't seen the comments since the music plug. Oh, that's weird. I and a lot of their income depends on clicks. And so you're going to write the most incendiary, you're going to write the most eye-grabbing, you're going to write the most emotionally charged article you can just to get paid, because these journalists, these air quotes, I'm doing air quotes for the people on TikTok. I'm doing air quotes. These journalists, their bread and butter is getting people to click on their articles, and that's how they get paid. So it's really kind of a sick system. And when you apply that to politics, it gets even more sick. And culture and politics are all embedded with each other anyways. So anyways, that brings us to Sam Smith. So the Grammys were the other night, and Sam Smith's Satanic Grammy performance is getting slammed. And also, just to throw it on top of everything, thank you for doing that, Reina. I appreciate you modding on both platforms. To make everything even better, the performance was sponsored by Pfizer, which we won't go into Pfizer because we all know where we stand on that. Grammy winner Sam Smith, 30, was slammed by various Twitter users on Sunday for their Satanic award show performance, which was followed by an ad for Pfizer and further triggered outrage. Sam Smith, alongside with Kim Petras, performed their chart-topping song Unholy during the 65th Grammy Awards, which had both singers and their backup dancers clad in blood-red devil-esque costumes. The non-binary singer rocked red high-heeled boots and leather pants and crimson shirt with a matching collar. Later, they wrote on They wore a top hat with horns and completed the look with a cane. Petrus, 30, spent the performance in a little red dress while performing in a cage surrounded by whip wielding backup dancers. So if you are of the conservative mindset, then I can see how this performance would offend you. And again, it's not just like it's like liberal tears here, it's conservative tears too. It's people who don't agree with that. I know lots of people who don't agree with the idea of using the satanic imagery. To me, it's a little much these days, and it's a little played out, honestly. I think that the whole Satan thing is a little played out. But again, they were trying to get this. This is what they were going for. I can barely conserve my I feel you, Naders. That stuff goes like water. At the beginning of their act, Smith is seen crouching in the center of several grudge like dancers. What does that mean? The duo's performance was immediately followed by a sponsorship ad from Pfizer, which made headlines after the CDC announced it was conducting an investigation as to whether or not the company's COVID vaccine, I gotta be careful with these, increase the risk of stroke in people over 65. See, I didn't. Okay. TikTok. Listen, TikTok, you just calm down. Okay, so the Grammys featured Sam Smith's demonic performance and was sponsored by Pfizer. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I'm sure people have plenty of comments about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's kind of out there, but whatever. We're not here to judge. And the Satanic Church now has a smamortion clinic in New Mexico that requires its patients to perform a satanic ritual before the service. We got what? Are you serious? So here's Sam Smith looking fab in their little devil outfit. Go ahead, Sam Smith, get yours. Again, the whole Satan thing to me is just overplayed. It's just overplayed. But, this is why they did it, right? They wanted people to be clicking. They wanted this to go viral. They wanted the attention. Reason why Madonna always uses Catholic imagery to sell her albums. It's just what people do. It's what artists do. I'm here to judge. Green Lady is a hoe. We're not going to... Listen, we're not going to hoe shame Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yo, bro, is it free? If it's free, there's not long with no theatrics. And also, does it come with the all-you-can-drink ocean spray? Imagine a very sweaty scrotums from the fab outfit. Yeah, that looks like he was dripping there. They were dripping. Come on, Mike, you bigot. They were dripping. There you go. There's some more with the tongue out. Looking great, looking grand. This is the Grammys, y'all. Again, I'm not offended. I don't care. I'm happy that Sam Smith is expressing themselves the way they want to. But it is strange. And when you think about the occult and the occult and what they allow on TV and what they don't, they allow the idea of smashing on Christianity, the idea of Satan, and we're supposed to be an inclusive culture, right? It's okay to slam on Christians and Catholics, but don't say anything else about any other religion, and don't say anything else about other, communities, because that's against the rules somehow. Yeah. Ball sweat and latex. Let's go. I can literally smell it from here. She ain't having sex though. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She might. You never know, man. Some of these politicians are into some stuff. You guys remember that super conservative guy who was talking out against the gay community and was like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this and doing that, and then it found out he wears ball gags and he goes to orgies and definitely is into dudes and stuff. I remember that guy. Which one? Like saran wrap. It does look like saran wrap. Let's go, Sam Smith. Look at this. If you guys are watching on TikTok in the Twitch chat right now, they're talking about Sam Smith's underparts sweating in that latex thing that's painted. Basically, that's painted on his body. Their body. Their body. God. Oh my God. I'm not good at this, y'all. I am not good at this. We will get better. The Grammys featured Sam Smith's demonic performance and was sponsored by Pfizer, tweeted conservative politician Marjorie Taylor Greene. And okay, we already read that. Hollywood freaks still thinking they're edgy with their satanic themed performances, tweeted former talk show host Stephanie Hamill. I mean, that is pretty satanic there. Like I said, whatever that doctor put in the birth certificate, that's legal paperwork. Ah, yes. Well, and that's the thing too, right? I saw this video on TikTok the other day where a cop pulled over a couple, and I'm canceled. And I'll just go ahead and I'll just see myself out, guys. All right. A cop pulled over a couple, and there was a male presenting driver, and the cop was like, "You and your boyfriend," and you can't see the passenger, but the passenger is recording, and all you hear is the passenger say, "I am a woman," and with a deep voice. And the cop was like, "Well, your ID says you're a guy, so that's what we're going with." And so it is weird, right? Like when you go to the airport, you still have to tell them. I mean, you can identify, but like when you're ordering tickets, you got to put male or female. You got to. It's still a strange. It's still a strange dichotomy that we're sort of maneuvering within, with this new cultural shift. That's ma'am. Nope. Talking a jail identity fraud. How can I know, Samo? Like, you talk in code sometimes. I can't keep up with you. Your brain moves faster than mine. I'm waiting for the first man to have ovarian cancer. I'm sure that's gonna happen. There's gonna be a man. I mean, men can be pregnant, so has to be I mean, think about HPV and how prevalent that is, and it mostly affects women. And so biological women who transition into men still are going to get cervical cancer from their HPV. And then, it's a man with cervical cancer. You're not high enough for this. Well, go ahead with your bad self. So American Christians need to get to work. Sam Smith's satanic performance at the Grammys ended with a Pfizer commercial. You can't get more on the nose than that. Pfizer and Hollywood deserve each other. And there's been a lot of talk about how Pfizer sponsors all these different news programs. We've played that before, where it's like, brought to you by Pfizer. Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer. CNN is brought to you by Pfizer. They do control. Look, if someone gives you $1 million, you're going to be taking their phone calls. That's just how it works. So here's I love this song, by the way. This song's awesome. Now watch. This is the best part. Brought to you by Pfizer. So it's like they're sponsoring a narrative. It's just interesting, the narrative that gets pushed. It's like you could push the anti-Christian and pro-Satan sentiment, but that's where it stops. And Pfizer's pushing it. it's just it's just weird. It's just weird, right? To me, it's weird. I don't know about anybody else, but to me, that's odd. It's an odd thing that's happening here. Um, So another Twitter user condemned the sponsorship of the medical company during the award show. Sam Smith has a Satanic Grammys performance, and it's sponsored by Pfizer. You can't make this stuff up. Sam Smith's satanic performance at the Grammys ended with Pfizer commercial, said another user. You can't get it more on the nose than that. Later in the night, both Petras and Smith were both still clad in crimson, won Best Pop Duo Group Performance for Grammy song, which that's what I was going for. That's what I predicted that they were going to win. And I wanted them to win. That's a good song. I'm the first transgender woman to win this award, said an emotional Petras. I want to thank all of you incredible transgender legends before me who kicked these doors open. And Petras was like one of the first young people, like minors, to get the surgery. I think this was back in 2006 or something. When was that? Only one cream comes from this. There's a cream for that. What book did the racist author put his warning in? And plus, Dr. Seuss warned us of the reality, but nobody was really paying attention. Yeah, what book was that? We gotta know. Nader's cream. Get that cream going. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta do something. There we go. JK, thing 1 and thing 2. Is that what it was? Dr. Seuss was talking about racism and... Dr. Seuss's beloved icon. Okay, 6 Dr. Seuss books stopped being published due to racist imagery. Oh, golly. How many books? America First. The wolf chewed up the children and spit out their bones, but those were foreign children, and it really didn't matter. Oh my God.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Oh God.
Fuck you.
That's not
Pay
what
me.
Oh, sorry, TikTok. You guys didn't. I didn't mean for TikTok to hear that. One fish, two fish. Now identify as a cat. Look at this. This is. Let's see more. Let's see more of this gallery. I don't know if I could show this on TikTok. So sorry, TikTok. You guys aren't gonna be able to see it. But if you guys want to see it on TikTok, come on over to the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/WeSpeakEnglishGood, and you can see what we're seeing here. Even though Twitch is like very, very liberal minded, I've never had a problem with Twitch and censorship. So I definitely can appreciate that by Twitch. The only thing I get in trouble for is showing DMCA videos and stuff. Let's see some more. Listen, Maestro, if you want to get real harmony, use the black keys as well as the white keys. And then it has black labor here. What's wrong with that? Is that bad? Am I missing something with that? That they aren't that liberal. They just broke records with Hogwarts streaming. Well, people want to separate Hogwarts from the author. Everybody wants to pretend like they can still be a Harry Potter fan, but doesn't support that money goes directly into J.K. Rowling's pocket. And I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm not saying that we shouldn't support Harry Potter. I'm just saying that that's the idea, is that if people were so angry at J.K. Rowling, then stop supporting your little wizard fetish, okay? Like, get over that real quick. This one, I don't see what's wrong with this one. Am I missing something? It seems like harmony is good. Real harmony use black keys as well as the right keys. That seems to me like it's like that's a good thing, right? I'm about the game. Speaking of warts on my hog, okay. That doesn't seem racist. It seems equalist. Yeah. It's light shade. I got you. I'll run democracy war. You stay in your Jim Crow tanks. Oh my God. I don't want, I have that game and it's awesome. Which game? The Hogwarts one? Discriminating employer. This seems like he's making things like people are happy about this. Like this seems like he's defending. Oh, Hogwarts, the game. Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. Like here's the thing: if you can't separate the art from the artist, no, there's no worries, Firehorse. I'm just kind of slow. Tulips on your organ. Naders. You stay in your Jim Crow tanks. That's what this says, and it has labor, Jewish labor, discriminating employer. I don't know. I'm not getting that one, I guess. The old family bathtub is plenty safe for me. American Hemisphere. Ugh, this is getting weird. All right, I'm over that. In the 2007 book, Should We Burn Babar, the author and educator Hubert R. Cole contended that Babar the Elephant books were celebrations of colonialism because of how the title character leaves the jungle and later returns to civilize his fellow animals. Oh my God, shut up. These are cut off. Look at the link I sent. Okay. Thank you for sending a link, Raina. If you want to get real, okay. Oh, these are his political cartoons. So none of these show up in. Oh, I see. So Black Labor White War Industry. Ah. So that is a little weird. If we're complaining about JK, then should we get off Twitch? There's so many wizards and witches on this platform. Nothing against the wizards or witches. Just it's weird that some people are able to go so hard about certain things and let some things go. It's like we can look past the transphobia as long as I get to read my Harry Potter. What happened to Babar? They said that he is promoting colonialism. It says in the book, Should We Burn Babar? One of the books, Babar's Travels, was removed from the shelves of a British library in 2012 because of its alleged stereotypes of Africans. Critics have faulted the Curious George books for their premise of a white man bringing home a monkey from Africa. Again, anybody will be angry about everything. So, I mean, I know a bunch of warlocks and grand wizards, and I will see them picking them. A group of obsessed with lowercase t and tiki torches. That's a different kind of grand wizard. Okay, listen, that's a different kind of wizard, Samo. That's not the kind of thing that I'm. That's not the wizards I'm talking about. Amazon owns Twitch, and Amazon does some crappy things too. Oh yeah, Amazon does horrible things, terrible things. First of all, they barely pay taxes, and they get products made by young children, almost making no money off of the products that they're making for us to consume and just throw away like it's nothing. So yeah, it is weird. I work for Amazon. Gene, then you shouldn't be talking about Amazon. Stop talking about your employer. If you guys are liking the content on TikTok, please like and share this. Is that what they say? I guess that's what they say. I've got to go. Have a great rest of your stream. Firehorse, thank you so much. I really appreciate your input. They don't know it's me. That's true. That's true. They don't know who Mean Gene the Mean Machine is. And Laura Ingalls Wilder's portrayals of Native Americans in her Little House on the Prairie novels have been faulted so often that the American Library Association removed her name in 2018 from a Lifetime Achievement Award it gives out each year. Oof, we're back to burning books, are we? That's what we become. I didn't know. Yeah, there you go. So we're talking about the six Dr. Seuss books will stop being published due to the racist and insensitive imagery. So this is Dr. Seuss books, including "And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street," "If I Ran the Zoo." Oh God, I can only imagine what "If I Ran the Zoo," what kind of imagery that's in there. Will stop being published because of the racist and insensitive imagery. The business that preserves and protects the author's legacy said Tuesday. These books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. Dr. Seuss Enterprises told the Associated Press in a statement that coincided with the late author and illustrator's birthday. Ceasing sales of these books in only part of our commitment. Wait a second. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprises catalog represents and supports all communities and families, it said. The other books affected by the other books are Mick Elligott's Pool and Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Supper, and Cat's Quizzer. Oh, golly. I'm just wondering what kind of stuff are in these books. I need to see these books now. The decision to cease publication and sales of the books was made last year after months of discussion, the company told AP. Dr. Seuss Enterprises listened to the feed and took feedback from our audiences, included teachers, academics, and specialists in the field as part of our review process. We then work with a panel of experts, including educators, to review our catalog of titles. See, I don't agree with this. If we can show, and I know I'm getting a little edgy here, but if we can show books about transitioning to kindergartners, I think that we can show books about outdated ideas. I don't think it's that harmful. But again, this is a free country and people can do what they want. If they don't want those books in their libraries, then they shouldn't have them. If a school and the people that make up that school, the school districts decide what they want, I'm all for it. They want to talk about those kind of issues, they should be able to talk about those kind of issues. This is America, dang it. If they want to talk about trans issues to kindergartners and everybody's on board with it, the students and the parents and the faculty and staff, if everybody's on board and that's what they want, then that's fine. I don't care. Like, that doesn't affect me. But it's weird. But what I don't like seeing is like some of these people who are getting arrested, who are getting silenced at these high schools or in these schools, concerned parents, which they have every right to be concerned, who are coming out and getting arrested and getting shut down and their voices clamped up because they aren't with what they're doing. To that, if they're that upset, then either take your kid out of the community or get those people off the board, because that's how it's going to have to be. But yeah, I mean, if people are, if people want that kind of stuff in there. And again, with Dr. Seuss books, if I honestly think that those books should be still available, if not put in kids' faces, maybe not, but I think those books should still be available, and because we should see how outdated and old and silly ideas used to be in this country, so we can learn and not do that again. It's one of those situations where you got to learn from your mistakes. That's how we learn. Failure is such a antiquated. Thank you, Gene. I appreciate you. Antiquated. Stop. It's 19. We are gonna get too sensitive to erase history, and we all know what happens then. Exactly what I'm saying. We learn from history. That's how we go forward. We were watching that Bill Maher Mao's 4 tenets. What was it called? Forget culture. We're going down that path, right? Forget income to some landlord. Wait a minute. What was Bill Maher talking about? How do you spell Mao? Is that how you spell Mao? Is that how you spell Mao? Now. Forget culture, replacement transcends as reflection. I mean, they're putting more questionable books on sexuality in front of kids' faces. I mean, Dr. Seuss really should be on the chopping block. Yeah, and I'm not against that. Oh, thank you, Raina. During the Cultural Revolution, there was these 4 things that he was telling people to forget about, and it was, part of it was culture and history. But yeah, it was. But I agree with you, Samo, but I don't think that they should be completely taken off of circulation just so that they are available. It should be somewhere where people can see it. And whether or not you want to expose your children or expose yourself to them, that's up to you as an individual, as is your right. But I don't think that it should just be like forgotten about and thrown in the fire. What is that? Fahrenheit, that book, Fahrenheit, not 9/11, but Fahrenheit something. The other great dictator of China. Yes. Okay, Gene, get some sleep, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. But books do go out of publishing. So if too many complaints came in about them, then it makes sense that to stop publishing them. People will just have to find old copies. Yes, I agree. It's just when you come to the point of burning books and like getting rid of any semblance of it, I think that's where things get a little weird, because again, you're sort of erasing history. And it's like really, and it's funny how, I mean, what is that? The Library of Alexandria? Is that what they called it? They burned down. Was it the Egyptians or what was it? Is that the library? I mean, think of all the things that's been burnt down and destroyed over the years and how much history has been forgotten to time. I'm just talking out my ass now. Is it Moving Dutchman here? Moving Dutchman, hello, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. The Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution. I'm trying to find those things.
Hello, Moving Dutchman. This is Gandalf. Thank you for all that you do for this channel, and always remember, a Moving Dutchman is never late, nor early, but arrives precisely when he means to.
Thank you, Raina, for doing that for Moving Dutchman. So Bill Maher was talking about. Here it is. I want to just.
And finally, new rule. If you're part of today's woke revolution, you need to study the part of revolutions where they spin out of control because the revolutionaries get so drunk on their own purifying elixir, they imagine they can reinvent the very nature of human beings. Selfishness could be cast out. Spoke of the. No, turns out he wanted to be on a yacht and a prostitute. Very recent idea. Reality by screening reality of nature. And Chairman, because Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the 4 olds.
The 4 olds.
Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah.
They not only put dunce cats on people, but they actually like beat them and murdered them. So it wasn't just that. Okay, so let's go back to. I'm flipping the camera back, y'all. There we go. So it was the four olds of Mao, and it's just, it's like when you're trying to create a new ideology, you want to go for the youth, and you want to go for the idea of getting rid of these old ways of thinking. And again, there, not that we should go back to like the make America great thing, like the 1950s, Donna Reed, where we had separate water fountains and stuff. That's not it. But if you're not paying attention, and if you're not and if history is getting erased, then we're just going to repeat the same mistakes that we've done. We need to understand, make Ohio great again. I agree, Moving Dutchman. Can we make Ohio great again? Mr. Volkswagen himself, Mein Kampf follow, same plan of attack. I think you're right. Ohio, you know what? Everybody wants to make memes about Ohio and slam Ohio. Ohio has done some cool things, okay? And it's not the worst state to be in. It's like the couple who danced publicly in Iran and ended up in jail for 10 years. Ugh, that's just horrible. The four olds. Wow. The four olds. The Four Olds was a term used during the Cultural Revolution by student-led Red Guards in the People's Republic of China in reference to the pre-communist elements of Chinese culture they attempted to destroy. The Four Olds were old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old habits. See, and that's the thing. We want to villainize people who think in these sort of old traditional standards. I mean, there's people out there who do like the tradition of marriage and not saying man it has to be between a man and a woman. That's not what I'm saying. But there are people who like traditional roles as male and female, and and people who say that, like especially women who say that they like that kind of tradition, are sometimes they're shamed for it because they're just, oh well, you're just feeding into the patriarchy, and it's like, oh, you're just, you're only helping the patriarchy rule over all of us, which is, it's not. It works for some people. And so that's the idea here, is that we can't just say one thing works for everybody, because yeah, you can be a boss bitch and be out there slaying dudes and running through dudes however you want and make your own money, and that's fine, and that works for some people. No, I would never judge anybody for that. There might be consequences at the end of the road there, but there's always consequences for everything. But to sit here and judge people and say that we need to get rid of all these old customs and old traditions, that's a dangerous thing. That's a dangerous thing, and that's sort of how I feel we're being asked right now in American culture. And to each their own is how I see it. Like, and to be able to talk about it and have conversations about it, I think, is the important part, so we can kind of understand where we're all coming from here, because I don't think that people who enjoy their traditional marriage are necessarily hate anybody. They just enjoy those roles. And when you think of like the roles of women in Islam, right? Some people could say that's oppressive. But a lot of those women in those kind of Islamic traditional roles are very happy with what they're doing, and where the man goes out and makes the money and comes home and does it. And that's fine, right? That's totally cool. It's just when we start blocking ourselves off and telling people that they can't think like that, and that thinking like that is antiquated. I think that's when we run into trouble, and when we can't talk, when we're cutting off conversation, that's when things get dangerous. That's when things get to us and them kind of mentality. And in a country like the United States, you want to think that we're united, but we've never been so divided. I mean, since like the the Civil War. So It's interesting. The Dude, this TikTok number counter is just so strange to me. It ran up to like 500, and then it and then it goes down to 3, and then it was like what TikTok is so weird. TikTok. TikTok. In any case, yeah. So I don't think it's necessary to get rid of old ideas or old culture or old customs or old habits. I think it's a good idea for us to be able to embrace. No, well, I agree with you, Raina. I'm just saying that it's weird because it ran up to 500 and then it went down to. It's just weird. I zap fast in TikTok. Yes, easily bored. I know. On a different note, I got another musician interested in an interview. Nader, send them my way, or drop the link, or send the link in my whispers. I don't think you can drop the link, or send it to Reina. She'll be able to do it, or Bon. It's in Discord. Okay, we'll go check that out. Before we get into our next story, we'll check that out. And then TikTok is lame for live streams because you can't use your phone for anything else. It's fine. I don't need to use my phone for anything.